8 seasons, 81 episodes, over 1,600 minutes of interdimensional chaos. And somehow, Rick Sanchez still can't figure out that putting a drunk genius in charge of family adventures might lead to a few, let's call them, questionable decisions.
This emergency was oversold to me.
Morty!
Today we're counting every sin, plot hole, and moment where this show made absolutely zero sense. Buckle up, because this is gonna take a while. Now, before we dive into the multiverse of madness, let's establish some ground rules. A sin is anything that breaks logic, contradicts established canon, or just makes you go, wait, what? We're talking plot holes big enough to drive the space cruiser through.
You know about the vat? Every Rick has a vat!
Character decisions that would make even Jerry look smart, and animation errors that somehow survived multiple review passes. We're covering all 8 seasons chronologically, which means yes. We're starting with that pilot episode where Morty's legs were broken for like 3 scenes and then miraculously healed because the animators forgot. And yes, we're ending with Season 8's, let's just say, creative choices. Let's start where it all began. Season 1, where the show was still figuring out what it wanted to be. And boy, does it show. Pilot episode, Rick gives Morty these anti-gravity boots that are supposed to help them escape.
Take these shoes, Morty. They're special grappling shoes. When you're wearing these things, these babies, you can basically just walk on any surface you want, Morty. Up, down, below, turn around to the left.
Cool gadget, right? Except the boots malfunction and Morty falls into a ravine.
Bring it all together. You have to turn them on, Morty. The shoes have to be turned on.
Shattering his legs in multiple places. We're talking bones turned to paste here. It's brutal, traumatic, the kind of injury that should put you in a hospital for months. Except 3 scenes later, Morty's walking around perfectly fine with zero explanation, zero limp, zero consequences. Did Rick have miracle healing serum? Did the show just forget about basic human anatomy? Either way, that's a sin. Then there's the Anatomy Park episode.
What? Welcome, Morty. Welcome to Anatomy Park.
Rick miniaturizes Morty and sends him inside a homeless man named Ruben. Cool concept, except how does a microscopic Morty communicate with regular-sized Rick through a radio? What frequency are we operating on here? And more importantly, why does nobody question the ethics of building a theme park inside a living person? That's at least 3 sins right there. And let's talk about Meeseeks. These blue guys exist to complete one task and then disappear. Simple, right? Except Mr. Meeseeks trying to help Jerry shave 2 strokes off his golf game somehow spawns an army of increasingly desperate Meeseeks who nearly destroy the world.
Born into this world, fumbling for meaning, Jerry, we are created to serve a singular purpose for which we will go to any lengths to fulfill. Existence is pain to a Meeseeks, Jerry, and we will do anything to alleviate that pain. Just ask. What's your name, ma'am?
Samantha, please, mister! Give him what he wants!
The box literally says, fulfill one request. Jerry's request was one thing. Why did they keep spawning? Plot convenience, that's why. Season 2 is where Rick and Morty found its identity. Unfortunately, it also found new and creative ways to ignore its own rules. Take the episode where Rick and Morty freeze time. Great premise. Except they manage to unfreeze themselves while time is still frozen, which creates a paradox that somehow gets resolved by merging with other versions of themselves. The show literally uses time is broken, so anything goes as an excuse to hand-wave the entire third act. That's not clever writing, that's a get-out-of-jail-free card. Then there's the Unity episode where we meet Rick's ex-girlfriend, a hive mind entity that controls entire planets. Emotional, well-written, genuinely good television. But here's the thing, Unity controls millions of people simultaneously. So when Rick parties with Unity, he's technically partying with thousands of possessed individuals who have zero autonomy. And the show just never addresses how deeply messed up that is. Dark comedy is one thing, but this is Stockholm Syndrome on a planetary scale. And let's not forget the Purge Planet episode. Morty and Rick land on a planet with an annual purge, Morty gets traumatized, goes full murder mode, and then...
Jeez, wow, Morty.
Next episode, he's completely fine. No therapy, no lingering trauma, no character development, just reset button pressed. Because apparently massive psychological damage is less permanent than a smartphone update. Season 3, the Szechuan Sauce Season. The moment Rick and Morty went from cult hit to cultural phenomenon and immediately regretted it. And the premiere drops one of the show's biggest revelations, Rick's tragic backstory with his dead wife, Diane. Emotional, devastating, canon-defining, except it's fake. Rick made it all up to trick the Galactic Federation. Cool twist, except now we have no idea what's real anymore. Did his wife actually die? Does Rick even care? The show dangles this mystery for literal years without resolution, which isn't clever storytelling. It's just withholding information to seem deep.
You getting this?
Holy shit, yes! Yes, we got it!
Thanks, Rick. I'll try to remember to shut off the brainalyzer.
Then there's the infamous Pickle Rick episode. Rick turns himself into a pickle to avoid family therapy, builds an exoskeleton out of rat parts, and fights his way through a Russian mob compound. It's visually insane and completely misses the point, because he still ends up at therapy anyway, where the therapist absolutely destroys him with actual psychological insight. But does Rick change? Does this moment matter? Nope. Next episode, everything's back to normal. Character development meet reset button. You two should get acquainted. And the season finale has Rick literally fighting the President of the United States in the White House.
My office. You have the right to kiss my dick. Give me the thing.
It's absurd, it's over the top, and it's completely consequence-free. Rick declares independence from America, nearly destroys the Oval Office, and then next season everything's back to normal. No wanted posters, no government manhunt, nothing. Apparently presidential assault just gets a pass when you're Rick Sanchez. Seasons 4 and 5 are where Rick and Morty had an identity crisis. The writers couldn't decide if they wanted to be a wacky episodic comedy or a serialized drama with stakes. Spoiler alert, they failed at both. Season 4 opens with the Death Crystals episode. These green rocks show you how your future death happens.
Death crystals show you how you're gonna die. Jesus Christ!
Morty becomes obsessed with a timeline where he dies old with Jessica. Cool concept, except the crystals show infinite timelines, which means every possible death scenario exists simultaneously. So why does Morty only see specific ones? And why does the crystal stop working when convenient for the plot? Because the writers needed it too. That's why. Then there's the Story Train episode, which is literally the show making fun of people who want continuity. The entire episode is a meta-commentary about how fans think too hard about canon. Clever? Maybe. But you can't spend 3 seasons building mythology, ignore it for a full season, and then mock fans for caring. That's not subversive, that's just gaslighting your audience. And Season 5 finally brings back Evil Morty after 2 seasons of nothing. His master plan, destroying the central finite curve, a barrier that separates universes where Rick is the smartest man alive from universes where he isn't. Philosophical, mind-bending, and never properly explained. How did Evil Morty even discover this barrier existed? How did he build the technology to break it? What does destroying a multiversal constant even mean? The show treats this like a mic drop moment without doing the homework. Seasons 6 and 7 had one job: deal with the fallout from Evil Morty shattering the entire multiverse structure. So naturally, the show mostly ignored it and gave us interdimensional Cable knockoffs instead. Season 6 starts strong with Rick actually facing consequences. He's considered a terrorist, the family's on the run, and for once, there's actual stakes. Except this gets resolved in 2 episodes. 2. The entire Rick is a wanted criminal arc that should have been a season-long storyline gets wrapped up faster than a Jerry subplot. And the resolution? Rick just makes a deal. No epic confrontation, no character growth, just bureaucratic negotiation. Riveting. Then there's the episode where Rick and Morty get replaced by Space Beth versions of themselves, and the family doesn't notice for weeks. Which raises the question, if the family can't tell the difference between Rick Prime and regular Rick, or real Beth and clone Beth, does any of this actually matter? The show keeps telling us these relationships are important while simultaneously proving they're interchangeable. Season 7 introduces us to Rick Prime, the Rick who actually killed our Rick's wife. This is it. The big bad. The reason Rick became Rick. And the payoff is 1 episode. Rick hunts him down, kills him, and that's it.
Let's find out.
Decades of trauma resolved in 22 minutes. No extended arc, no real emotional catharsis, just, well, that's done. It's like if Breaking Bad ended with Walter White accidentally running into the drug kingpin at a Costco. Season 8, the newest season, the one that should have learned from 7 seasons of mistakes. It did not. Right off the bat, we get the Grumflom episode where Rick and Morty are basically doing Aliens ripoffs with bug creatures. The gang plans this elaborate Ocean's 11-style heist to infiltrate an alien birthday party. Except, why? The entire mission could have been solved with one of Rick's portal guns and 15 seconds of effort. But no, we need a convoluted plan that falls apart immediately so the show can make jokes about plans falling apart. That's not clever, that's just lazy writing with self-awareness. Then there's the Spore Hive twist that comes out of nowhere. The villains suddenly have a backup plan involving an underground hive that was never mentioned before. Not foreshadowed, not hinted at. Just, surprise, there's a second threat now because we needed to pad the runtime. That's not a plot twist, that's the writers realizing they were 5 minutes short. And the pie chart. In the background of the alien control room, there's this chart that's supposedly tracking something important. Some sections are labeled in English, others in the alien Grumflom language. Who exactly is this chart for? Do the bugs read both languages simultaneously? Did they hire a bilingual graphic designer? And somehow, the percentages actually add up to 100%, which might be the most unrealistic part of this entire episode. After 8 seasons and 81 episodes, certain patterns emerge. These aren't one-off mistakes. These are the show's signature moves, and not in a good way. First, the reset button. Morty experiences traumatic, life-altering events constantly. He's killed people, been tortured, watched entire civilizations collapse, and dealt with existential horror that would break most adults. But every episode, he's back to being the same nervous kid. No PTSD, no character development, no consequences. The show wants credit for being dark without actually committing to what darkness does to people. Second, Beth and Jerry's marriage. They break up, they get back together, they break up again. They're miserable, they're happy, they're miserable again. Pick a lane. Either explore why these two broken people stay together or commit to the divorce. This back and forth isn't character complexity, it's the writers not knowing what to do with them. Third, the portal gun ex machina. Anytime Rick's in real danger, the portal gun conveniently works. Anytime the plot needs tension, it conveniently doesn't. The show established early on that portal travel is the ultimate escape tool, then spent 7 seasons coming up with arbitrary reasons why Rick can't just portal away from problems. Battery's dead, portal fluid's out, dimensions blocked, it's whatever the script needs it to be. And finally, Jerry. The show can't decide if Jerry's a punching bag, a villain, or occasionally competent. One episode he's so stupid he can't work a toaster. Next episode he's manipulating alien governments. There's inconsistent character writing, and then we have 5 different Jerrys depending on which writer's turn it is. So let's do the final tally. 8 seasons, hundreds of plot holes, countless animation errors, infinite multiverse inconsistencies, character arcs that go nowhere, reset buttons pressed more times than a game of Mario Kart, and a fan base that's somehow both the show's biggest asset and its worst enemy. The math works out to roughly 47 sins per season, which means we're looking at somewhere north of 370 total sins across the entire series. And that's being generous. We didn't even count every time Rick burps mid-sentence, every time the portal gun's rules change, or every time the show introduces a concept and immediately forgets about it. But here's the thing about Rick and Morty. It's still one of the smartest dumb shows on television. It's still capable of genuine emotional moments between the nihilism. And despite everything we just covered, people, including us, keep coming back. Maybe that's the biggest sin of all. The show knows it can get away with this stuff because we'll watch anyway. Rick's not the only one trapped in a loop. So is Rick and Morty perfect? Not even close. Is it still worth watching? That's up to you to decide, but at least now you know exactly what you're getting into. If this breakdown changed how you see Rick and Morty, hit like and subscribe for more sin-counting deep dives that expose the plot holes in your favorite show. Drop your hottest take on Rick's biggest mistake in the comments. I read every single one. This is the Morty Fiction. I'll see you in the next dimension.